Putting the K in magic. I'm Joanna DeVoe, and you're watching a video about Dharma, or finding your life's purpose. And I already did a radio show on this topic, and I will link down to that down below. I think these two will go very well together, this video and that Hippie Witch episode. And I'm basically talking about the same thing, but using different language. And I've been thinking a lot about Dharma lately, and just one day for shits and giggles, I went on Wikipedia to see how Wikipedia defined Dharma, because the way that I first learned it almost 20 years ago was from Deepak Chopra, and the way he defines Dharma is your soul's purpose, which is simple enough. But the way I found it defined on Wikipedia was a little bit different. Dharma is a Sanskrit word, and the way that Wikipedia defines it is the law that upholds, supports, or maintains the regulatory order of the universe. That sounds very wordy and out there. And then they go on to say that the Sanskrit word is actually derived from another word, a root word, which means that without which nothing can stand. And that to me makes more sense and is more in alignment with what I learned from Deepak Chopra about how Dharma is your soul's purpose. And there are some really simple things that you can do to find your soul's purpose. Everybody seems to be looking for that and asking questions. What's my purpose? Some people spend years and years and years trying to find themselves, and really it's not that difficult of a process. And I feel like I have found my purpose, and I am living my Dharma, and it's something that has revolutionized my life, and you're looking at it. I love doing Kick-Ass Witch so much, I can't even tell you. I love every single part of it, and so many of you seem to love it too, so it seems to be this reciprocal thing where I feel like I'm being of service and using all of my talents, drawing, making videos, writing, talking about all my pet subjects, psychology, nutrition, self-help, spirituality. I basically get to tap into every single part of my personality and then turn around and hopefully be of service. And then I get so much love in return. And my business is starting to grow, and I'm starting to make money, which is really nice, and I feel happy every single day when I wake up, and that is what Dharma, finding your life's purpose, can do for you. So here are the 3 steps to finding your Dharma in a nutshell. The first step is a big one, probably the biggest one, and this one you could invest years of time, or maybe you could just get it like that, or maybe it's something that you already have a grasp on, and that is connecting to your soul, to your higher self. And that can sound really ethereal and kind of hard to wrap your brain around if you feel like you haven't done that yet, or maybe you haven't done that but you think you have. But once you are tapped into that inner voice, into your inner guide, into God, source energy, whatever you want to call it, you definitely feel a shift in your life. Things change and move, and it's a place that you can come back to again and again and again. Ideally, we would all live our lives from that place, but most of us have to have some practices in place, like a regular meditation practice, for example, is probably the most classic and famous way to get in touch with that still inner voice of your soul. And it's the one that I recommend the most. And if you haven't read Tosha Silver's Outrageous Openness, as I talked about so much a couple of months ago, I highly recommend picking up a copy of that book, or downloading the audio version of that book, which is also very good because that'll give you some really good ideas. But you need to have that connection to your inner voice, not the inner voice of your ego, not the inner voice of fear, not the inner voice of insecurity, but that calm, loving, all-knowing voice that I promise you, you have within you. We all have it within. So that is step one. Get connected. Step number two is bust out a piece of paper and make a list of all of the things that you would do if money was no option, time was no obstacle, nobody was telling you what you need to do with your life or making you feel bad about how you're spending your time. Make a list of what you would do purely for the pleasure of it. And this is going to involve a lot of your talents, because when you repeatedly do what you love, you get really good at it. So write down your talents and write what you would do if you could do whatever you wanted with your time. What would you just do for the pure joy of it? And this is so much to do with follow your bliss. What gives you bliss? What makes you happy? What is it that you do when you completely lose track of time and lose yourself and you get so absorbed in what you are doing? Write it down, make a list, go through that list and start narrowing it down to the items on the list that really, really set your soul on fire and really ring true for you, and see maybe if some of the things on the list aren't just different aspects of the same thing, and if you maybe can consolidate them into one thing, and then have, you know, like 3, maybe even 5 if you're multi-talented, things that you absolutely love to do, that you feel just come from your soul and are part of you and that you are good at. That is step number 2. Step number 3 is ask yourself how you can be of service. Genuinely ask yourself, ask your higher self, ask God, how can I be of service to the world? How do my unique talents serve other people? What do I have to offer that other people can benefit from? And if you don't know the answer to this, I talked a little bit about this actually in one of my BizWitch videos, but it's all related. All of this stuff is related, and you know, we can learn from all the different aspects of our lives. Yes, this applies to starting your own business or pursuing a particular career, but your soul's purpose might not be business related. It might not be money related. It might be being the best mom or dad in the whole wide world, or just being a really excellent friend who is surrounded by a community of loving people. And that might be your soul's purpose. You might be someone who loves animals and who volunteers at an animal shelter. That might bring you tremendous joy while you are working at the local bookstore as a way to support yourself. So your soul's purpose isn't necessarily what you do for a living, but it can be. And when it is what you do for a living, when you are being of service with what you are doing for a living, and when you are combining step 2, you know, your special talents, what it is you love to do, and step 1, that connection that you have with your higher power or your higher self, if you can combine all 3 of those things, you will find success. You will. I promise you. I believe in these 3 steps to finding your Dharma, and if you apply that to your career, if you find a career that sets you on fire, that is coming from your soul, and that is of service to other people, I really don't see how you can go wrong. And that is the way that I personally see Dharma. And I also just want to add that Dharma is a central principle to religions and philosophies like Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, and many people hold Dharma to be a fact, and they believe in it. And I am not one of those people. I am not a person who accepts concepts like Dharma or karma. They often go together and they rhyme, so they just go together in my mind. And I'm going to, on Tuesday's episode of Hippie Witch, I will talk about karma, kind of coming from the same point of view of what I'm saying here, and that is that I'm not a person that believes that we know why we're here exactly. I think we have a good idea, or I think we could have some excellent concepts, and certainly Dharma is one that I want to believe in and I want to buy into, but you don't have to. You don't have to believe that Dharma is your soul's purpose and that you are purposely coming to this planet on a mission to fulfill this purpose. You don't have to hold that belief to subscribe to Dharma as a concept and a principle that you can apply to your life. It works just the same. It is a wonderful principle. It's a wonderful way to live your life, and even if you don't consider it finding your soul's purpose, it's an excellent way to find a way to fill your time and to spend your life in joy and happiness and making other people happy. So I don't know how you can go wrong with that. So have you found your life's purpose? Are you living your Dharma? Are you in the process of trying to get there? Let me know. Leave me a comment down below. I would love to hear from you, and tune in on Tuesday when I will continue on with this conversation and be talking about karma or the threefold law, however you want to look at it. Much love. Peace.